Start recording. Okay, good afternoon class. May nakapansin pala ng ano, okay. Very good no. Dun sa machine problem 3. So machine problem 3, okay, again, the essence of lab work is is finding out what's wrong and what's right. So may nagtanong sa akin ulit from kahapon. May nagtanong sa akin kahapon about dun sa equation na binigay. Okay, very good. Napansin niya na hindi siya yung theoretical na equation for that problem for the period. So very good. Okay, ganun talaga yung ano. Nagbibigay talaga ako ng something to find out kung tama or mali. Okay? So again, the essence of lab work is is finding out what's wrong and what's right, then telling me that ayun yung tama, ayun yung mali. Okay? Very good, very good. So tingnan nyo tingnan nyo yung ginagawa nyo sa machine problem number 3. Okay. So nagulat siya na 90% pala yung error. Ayan, check. Okay. So dapat, ewan ko, di ko alam yan. Ako sabihin. Okay? So dun ko kayo ginigradean kung paano nyo i-explain yung mga bagay-bagay. Okay. So let's start with machine problem number 4. Share screen. Kita na ba? Thumbs up kung kita na. Okay, thank you. All right. Let's start. Machine problem number 4 will deal about ordinary differential equations. So, ang tatalakayin or gagawin nyo at least for the machine problem would be Euler's method, then the dalawang RK method. Ayun, gakuta. Second order, tsaka fourth order. So, method. Okay? Sa lecture, nasa na kayo sa lecture? Anyone? Kasi magtatanong ako para may sumagot. Angela.
Hello po, sir.
Hello. Ano yung topic niyo na sa lecture?
Interpolation po, sir.
Okay, so very pala tayo. Very advanced na pala tayo. Okay, sige. Discuss ko lang ng onti itong ordinary differential equations. Kung paano ba yung idea natin. Okay? Kuwari meron kang differential equation. Let's start. Kuwari meron kang differential equation. Let's say dy dx plus g of y and must be equal to some function of magandang letter. Gamma of x. Okay. So may ganyan kang equation. So syempre, in hindsight, medyo complicated sagutan. Di ba? Parang hindi natin intuitively malalaman agad yung sagot dito. Okay? So ang sagot dito, of course, will be some function y that is a function of x. Okay? So this is what we need to know. Diba? Tapos kukunin mo yung derivative, dapat mapalabas mo itong equation nito. Mapalabas mo itong differential equation nito. Okay, so you need y of x. Okay? Okay. So si y of x, you can always graph. You can always graph that x, then y. Then, so si y of x, kunwari, hindi natin alam yan. Kunwari random lang. Yan siya, itsura niya. Okay? And then, suppose that you are all, dapat pag binigyan ka ng ordinary differential equation, dapat meron kang boundary conditions. Okay? So, kunwari, you know that the boundary condition is, let's say at x equals, meron kang boundary condition na xi, tapos that would correspond to y. Okay. So, paano yun sa graph? Kunwari, dito. Kunwari dito sa xi. And then, so at this point, si yi. Okay. So, given yan. Alam mo si yi at si xi. Okay? So, in mathematical language, sulat natin na y of xi is equal to y. This is given. Okay? And then, of course, in solving things like this, pag numerical yung gagawin mo, we just want to know what the value of y at some certain point x, let's say I plus n. Okay? Or let's say, sabihin natin y of some value x n na lang. Okay? Same lang naman. Ang point lang is, kuwari gusto mong alamin yung point na, kuwari ito, this point. Okay? Gusto mo malaman kung kuwari ito ay x. Okay? So what is the value of yn? Okay? So you don't need to solve the whole thing pagkapag numerical methods ka. Diba? Kasi gusto mo lang naman malaman kung ano yung kung alin yung height ng function at some certain point. Okay? Given this initial values xi and yi. Okay, so how do we do that? Okay. Sa Euler method, ito yung pinaka-simpleng method. Basically, yung the other methods, they follow the idea sa Euler's method. Okay? So, ang gagawin natin is actually like this. You can always write this whole thing, the differential equation as dy equals dx, dy over dx is equal to gamma x minus. Okay? So, nilipat ko lang. And in essence, you can always write them down as f of x, comma y. Okay? Basically, ang gusto ko lang i-point out dito sa equation na to is that you can always isolate dy over dx on one side, then throw the other functions on the other side. Okay? And alam mo naman na y and x lang yung functions mo. So, you know that the right-hand side is just a function of x, comma y in general. Okay? So, yung left side mo, ito yung mahalaga, dy over dx. So, what is dy over dx? We know that this is slope. Okay? Okay. So, slope is again defined as rise over run. Okay? So, kapag si slope, minultiplyan mo ng something na run, then it will give you the rise at some point. Okay? Okay. So, suppose gusto natin hanapin yung kuhanin natin yung dito. Is this. Okay, kuwari ito ay yi plus 1. This is xi plus 1. Okay, so how do we find yi plus 1? So basically, you just get yi plus yung slope mo, which is f of x y i, and then multiply mo ng run mo, which is some value h. Okay? So paano ba ito nakuha? Okay, so ito yung prescription natin. Bakit ng font? Bakit ng color? Okay? So balik tayo dito, no? So you know that this is the initial height. Ito yung initial height mo. Tapos, yung f, which is given dahil sabi nga natin, kaya natin i-write yung function mo, the ODE. You can write that as this guy. Okay? So, alam mo agad yung slope mo, makukuha mo agad yung slope mo at point xy, at point xi, yi. So, at this point, bibigyan niya tayo ngayon ng slope, which is around something like downward. Okay? So, ito ay f mo. Okay? And then, yung h will tell us kung gaano kalayo yung tatalunin mo. Okay? So, h is the step size. So, basically, minus mo lang si h ay defined as the step between the two numbers. Okay? xi plus 1 minus xi. Okay? So, again, dito nagmamanifest yung rise over run multiplied by a run. Okay? So, rise over run multiplied by a run. Ito yung run mo, yung takbo mo. Okay? So, tumakbo ka mula this point to this point. Then, ito yung slope mo. Basically, makukuha mo nga yung next point. Okay? Next height, which is I plus 1. So, if you do this, kung palitin yung step size mo, mas na kukuha mo yung function. Okay? Okay. So, kung malaki yung step size mo, yung step size mo ay nandito. Ito yung h na gusto mo. Ito dito yung xi plus 1. Okay? So, magkakaroon ka ng erroneous na sagot. Kasi, dito sa f mo, pababa siya, di ba? Pababa siya. So, yung makukuha mong next na value, yi plus 1, would be lower. Pababa siya kasi dahil dun sa slope mo. Okay? So, hindi niya makukuha to lagi kung mataas yung step size mo. Okay? So, kung lilitan mo to ng lilitan, makukuha yung tamang sagot. Amazing, di ba? So, basically, ayun yung Euler's method. So, sa Runge-Kutta, tsaka dalawang Runge-Kutta, second order, tsaka fourth order, basically, mas maganda siyang approximation dahil kahit malaki yung step size mo, maliit yung error. Parang ganun. Okay? Improvement lang. Basically, this would make use of your second derivatives. Okay? Kung ano yung slope ng slope mo. Amazing. So that's the idea behind using ordinary differential equations in numerical methods doon. Okay? So, ayun, parang dali, di ba? Para siyang interpolation lang. Para ka nag-interpolate. Pero now, you are already given a function 2 based on. Alright. Okay, so what is your machine problem? So, yung machine problem na is, okay, wala nang tricks behind my sleeve dito. Okay, wala nang something mali dito. Kasi, this time, kayo na mismo yung gagawa ng problem. Okay, so study first the different numerical methods for solving first order ODE. So, first order lang tayo muna para hindi naman kayo pagodin na. Gusto ko lang ma-experience nyo kung paano gawin itong mga bagay na ito. Okay? So, next is you find a problem that is described by a first order ODE. And of course, with initial condition. Okay, kahit yung makita nyo problem, solved na. Mas maganda, di ba? Wala namang problem doon. Basta hanap kayo ng problem. This could be problems on heat, ganyan, or circuits. Di ba? Kasi circuits, capacitor yung circuit, ganyan, RC circuit. First order ODE yun na lang. Okay? And then, of course, you create a code, a live script. Okay, live script dapat ito. Live script that solves this ODE with the help of user inputs. So, ang i-input ko ay number of steps and x. Kung saan gusto ko hanapin yung kung saan ko gustong hanapin yung y. Kuwari, meron kang function. Okay? So, kuwari, given lang sa'yo is xi. Yun. So, around 3 yung yi. Okay. Gusto ko ang user input dapat ay ako yung bahala kung saan ko gustong tignan yung function. Pwede kong tignan dito. Okay. So, ito yung input ko. My input. Okay. Then, your output would be, of course, this guy. Yn. Okay? So, maglalagay pa ako ng inputs kung ilan gusto kong step gawin nyo mula para makaabot dito sa point na to. Okay? Ako yung magde-decide ko ano yung age. Kuwari nilagay ko yung h is equal to 10, then dapat tatalon ka ng 10 times para makapunta sa xn. Okay? Okay. The output should be y of x. Then, for the gagawin nyo, next naman is compare the three methods for the same problem. Okay? So, huwag nyo na akong pahirapan, no? Dapat efficient yung code nyo. Isang beses lang ako mag-input ng mga to, ng mga particulars. Then, it should run the three methods. Then, you tabulate them. Okay? Siyempre, dapat alam nyo yung true value ng true value ng problem, yung solution ng problem. Kaya pinapahanap ko kayo ng problem. Kayo nang bahalap namin ng problem. Okay? Dapat may true value para ayun yung pagkukumpara nyo ng methods nyo. Okay, so may true value, tapos may Euler's method, then may Runge-Kutta second order, Runge-Kutta fourth order. Okay, so bonus na lang kung gusto niyo mag-solve ng higher order ODE. Okay? So yes, yung bonus. Uy, nice. Second order ODE. Kasi pwede niyo i-extend to sa mga higher order ODEs. Okay? So wala nang dito, wala nang tricks under my sleeve na maling thing. Okay? Ang titignan ko ngayon dito kung gaano kaganda yung efficient yung code nyo and then kung gaano kaganda yung discussion. Okay? Describing the problem, etc. etc. Okay? So, kung gaano kaganda yung code, ibig sabihin, kuwari naglagay ako ng letter sa input ko, anong gagawin ng code nyo? Naglagay ako ng imaginary number. Okay? Mga ganong bagay. Alright, any questions? Any questions? Nga pala, may mga umattend sa event kanina. So, yung mga umattend sa event kaninang 10 a.m., may bonus sila sa grade nila. Well, lang yun, self-grade lang yun, not by group. Meron ulit sa December kung gusto niyo umattend. Okay, okay. So, any questions? Any question? Okay. Nagtatanong siya kung meron daw recording yung kaninang ganun. Meron. Sige. Try ko download over the weekend. Kasi malaki yung file 8. Mga 8 gig yun. Okay, basically yung event kanina about simulation ng coronavirus. Okay? Paano ma-minimize yung cost, ma-minimize yung deaths, and minimize yung number of infection. So isipin nyo, master's thesis na yung ganun. Kaya nga pinaprevent ko kayo mag-overshoot ng mga final projects nyo. Okay, so stop share na ako. Any questions, guys? Deadline. Deadline nito would be next Friday na lang, okay? Kasi next Wednesday, exam sa 130. So, priority nyo yung 130. Okay ba yun? Okay ba sa lahat yung next Friday na yung Deadline ito. Okay. Any questions pa? Any questions regarding the... Sir, kasama mo ba ang regression sa computational methods? Yes. Nagawa na natin yung regression din. Interpolation. Basically, regression din. Yung regression kasi would be finding the general form of your points or the points. Pero in essence, you're just interpolating them below. Nasunog. Anyway, ano po, any other questions, guys? Sana may face-to-face na next, next. SEM or academic year? Okay, I stop recording kung walang questions.